Well, Duncanville's season 2 has ended. Yes, season 2 of Duncanville is over. I have to say that it was a good season, and we will wait for the third season, obviously next summer, since Fox has the new animation domination on Mondays. But the season finale of season 2 was episode Which Day 2. It's the second Halloween episode of Duncanville. The first Halloween episode premiered on March 8th of last year, 3 days before the pandemic. And Which Day 2 returned once again. And it was weird watching the second Halloween episode in the summer. But then it's kind of cool because Halloween is coming around the corner. But it's still weird at the same time because you're watching a Halloween episode in the summer. I mean, it was weird seeing the Witch Day episode last year in the winter. You know, it was overall a good season. Season finale, the Witch Day 2 episode, it was good. Duncan wanted to go somewhere scary so he can hopefully get his first kiss from Mia. Bex knows one place where Duncan and Mia can go that is scary, and they end up going to an old circus city that went out of business. And so Yangtze, Bex, and Wolf try to help him out. Yangtze makes some haunting noises. It works, but Bex doesn't hear wedding bells. Wolf decides to spice things up by putting the movie Gran Torino. The movie comes on all the TVs. Bex noticed that, oh no, Duncan urinated himself. The plan backfired. Well, kind of. I mean, it worked because Mia wanted Duncan to hold her, but he could not as he ran away due to him being embarrassed, as he thought it would be a turnoff for Mia to see him wet his pants. So he kind of blew it because his opportunity was right there, but he was so embarrassed that he wet himself. He just didn't want Mia to see him with his pants wet. And so Mia looks for him while Duncan tries to hide and find a dryer to dry his pants. He finds one, but he was looking for a dry pee setting, which obviously doesn't exist. Duncan is definitely not bright. And it's like Duncan shouldn't have assumed that Mia was one of those girls that would have made fun of him or judged him because he wet himself. I mean, there are some girls, unfortunately, that are like that, but he can't assume that Mia is one of them. Like, come on, Duncan. And speaking of not being bright, then Duncan had the nerve to put his pants in the microwave to dry his pants. Duncan, the microwave is to warm up food, not pants, especially when having metal on them. Bex even told him, and Duncan said, so? Metal in the microwave will explode. Duncan is 15. How does he not know that? Duncan, you are not bright, but we still love you either way. Anyways, Mia, Bex, Wolf, Yangtze, Duncan, and his pants ran away for their lives. But in the end, Duncan was honest when he told Mia about his plan to put his arm around her. Mia told him if he wanted to put his arm around her, all he had to do was ask. Because Mia likes boys who are direct and honest. See, Duncan, all you had to do was be honest. If you would have been honest with yourself and just, asked her if you could put her arm around her, you wouldn't have worried about wasting your time coming up with that plan. That's all you had to do. So he was able to put his arm around her, and he thought it was nice until he had a cramp in his arm. So Mia put her arm around him. Duncan is so scrawny and weak. He need to work out more. But you root for guys like Duncan who has that dream girl, and they hope to win that dream girl's heart, like Corey getting Topanga in Boy Meets World. And I thought he said he wanted to kiss her too. All he did was put each other's arm around each other. They didn't even kiss. There was also the episode off of the braces where Kimberly finally gets her braces off. And it was nice to see Kimberly without her braces. I know she was happy because when Kimberly had her braces on, she wasn't popular, and apparently none of her classmates, nobody at school liked her. I mean, they didn't bother saying anything to her. I mean, even her own teacher didn't like her. She would say something, they would pretty much ignore her. Look at her with the dull look on her face. It's like, oh my God, we don't like you, Kimberly. We don't like you. Until you get your braces off, we'll never like you. We'll never like you. Be quiet, you're annoying. We don't like you. Ah! I mean, even this boy she had a crush on, Marcus, it just seems like he's not really interested in her. But when she got her braces off, she broke into a musical. And I have to say it was hilarious. But Kimberly has such a beautiful singing voice. She gets to eat sticky desserts and put her whole fist in her mouth. I was happy for Kimberly. And then, everybody noticed her. She was popular. Marcus noticed her. And she even got to be in a play with him. But there's a problem. Marcus had that cold sore on his mouth, and Kimberly wasn't pleased about that. And then also in the episode, it was weird seeing Jack with no facial hair and without a ponytail. And I guess some guy asked Duncan if he wanted to cut off his ponytail. And then Duncan responds saying he doesn't know because Jack never talks about it. Okay, so just because Jack don't talk about it doesn't mean he wanted the ponytail off. And apparently Jack was sleeping as a guy cut his ponytail off. I don't know why Jack would fall asleep. I mean, the man could have woke him up and asked Jack if he wanted his ponytail off. That way Jack would still have his ponytail. And so now Jack feels like a different person. But apparently people like the new Jack, and he started to embrace it. Well, except for Annie, because apparently Annie isn't attracted to Jack anymore because she missed seeing him with the ponytail. And obviously that hurts Jack's feelings. I mean, you can't blame the guy. It's like all of a sudden your own wife isn't attracted to you because you don't have this and that anymore. I mean, shouldn't Annie love him for who he is? Yeah. And so then one day Jack shows Annie the paper that people find Jack sexy. And then so Annie had to make it clear to Jack, I didn't say people didn't think you were sexy. I just said that you weren't sexy to me. Dang, Annie. So and then it was funny when Gene asked if they should leave the kitchen. And then Jack said, no, we're done. Just like me and your mother's sex life. And then Jean was annoyed about it, and so then she put like 2 strawberries in her ears because she didn't want to hear it. That was funny. As for Kimberly, she didn't know what to do, except she had no choice but to kiss Marcus, despite that cold sore. But then Jack ran into the school building, and he pretty much ran to the middle of the play before Kimberly kissed Marcus. And then something pretty much cut off Marcus's cold sore. Annie ran to Jack's aid, and their spark was back, and he got his ponytail back magically. And so the cold sore is no longer on Marcus's mouth, which means Kimberly finally gets to kiss Marcus. But she did tell Claire to come up with a plan, her best friend with the glasses and blonde hair. So unfortunately, Claire presumptuously used a sandbag to hit Kimberly in the face to stop her from kissing Marcus. And then she asked Kimberly if she saved the day. No, you ruined the day. She was about to get her kiss, and all of a sudden you ruined it because you possibly ruined her teeth. And if I was Kimberly, I would have looked for Claire and told her, Claire, stop. No need to use the sandbag. The cold sore is off his mouth. And then they would have kissed. Now Kimberly's teeth is ruined, and now she had to go back to wearing braces. And she started crying. I feel bad for Kimberly. I know at that point she wanted to run out the streets. Then Duncan said he felt her pain because he lost his pot of weenies. Poor Kimberly. I'm sure you guys felt bad for Kimberly that she had to go back to wearing braces. Duncanville, season 2 is over with. So tune in for season 3 next summer. And also season 2 of Housebroken. Yeah, Housebroken, the season finale was good. And the gray one and Tabitha are a thing. Tabitha has finally come to her senses that she's into the gray one. Their chemistry just started to develop when she moved in with the gray one. I was like, oh, shoot, Tabitha, she getting a little close to the gray one. I know the gray one was waiting for this day. Oh, shoot, Tabitha and the gray one. Oh, shoot. Okay, it's hot now. I'm liking that. That's it.